Hi all! Everything in my video is pulled from the public domain, and I am using them under the Fair Use, Fair Dealings guidelines. Everything I say is my own opinion. You should look into this information for yourselves, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. Good morning, everybody. I want to start off. I just heard from all of you leaving comments on my last video about Ashli and her passing. She was an amazing person. She was an amazing YouTuber. I loved her stuff. Cancer sucks. And could you imagine, remember how when COVID first came out, everybody banded together and they found the immunizations and they suddenly said, lockdown could end. Could you imagine what would happen if everybody in the world got together for 1 year and put all their resources towards curing cancer? I bet they could find a cure. I bet they could. She was just an amazing human being. I'm sorry for her loss. I think we're all feeling it today. So my best wishes to her family, and let's jump into today's video. So as far as our regular photos go, we're starting off with the clearest image ever taken of Venus, and this is by the handle on Twitter is Curiosity. The next picture was sent to me by one of my followers named Heather. She took it in 2020. As you can see, it's a stunning display of autumn fall colors, which I completely agree. It looks like the cemeteries go. It looks like a beautiful cemetery. Heather, you took a stunning photo. That is absolutely gorgeous. Yes, a very nice display of autumn colors. And this photo that you see above was also sent to me by one of my followers. A beautiful photo. All right, I want to backtrack to this photo that I showed you guys yesterday because some more information came in from one of my fabulous followers. And what she said is that photo is Lord Lionel Walter Rothschild when he was trying to prove that zebras could be tamed by driving his carriage with a team of 6 zebras to Buckingham Palace. He was part of the Rothschild dynasty. He also used to drive this single cart that you're looking at around town. Apparently, he was really into zoology. That's some interesting information. Thank you for sending it. All right, moving on. This was on Twitter by Spring Brad. Did anybody ever notice that Meghan was claiming herself as an attorney at Spanky when she was married to Trevor Eggleston? This is what was on Twitter. I was like, what? Now, I'm aware that these are really small and really hard to read, so I'm going to help you out there. So here's what it says. Rachel Eggleston is 37 years old, born August 4th, 1981. Her reputation score is 3.6. She currently lives in Beverly Hills, California, and in the past she also lived in Los Angeles. Other names she uses included Rachel Markle, Rachel Meghan Markle, and Rachel M. Markle. Right now she's an attorney at Pansky and Markle. We know Rachel's political affiliation is currently registered Democrat. Ethnicity is other, and religious views are listed as Christian. She is now married and has no kids. Her personal network of family, friends, associates, and neighbors include Trevor Eggleston. Interesting, and then a bunch of other names. So, she, for some reason, was listed as an attorney. How odd is that? All right, I want to make sure you guys are aware that French TV BFM is releasing an investigative documentary detailing the bullying drama that the Queen doesn't want released to the public. The documentary is called Red Line, William and Harry, the Enemy Brothers. It's supposed to come out on the 25th anniversary of the death of Princess Diana. And the program is all about the claims, or there's a big portion of it, about the claims that Meghan Markle bullied staff while living at Kensington Palace. This might be something if they, offer it with a, an interpreter, that it would be worth watching. All right, let's move on. All right, next story coming up. Harry went to play polo for Sentable. Now, here's the problem. Once again, Harry showed up to the airport for yet another private jet. God knows who owns that jet, but he shows up for the jet in an electric car. So you're thinking, wow, he's finally worried about the environment and he's not in a gas-guzzling SUV. Now, I'm pretty sure that he did that because he knew that people were watching, okay? But yes, that is Harry in the back of the car. The problem is Harry was so giddy and excited to go play polo and get away from Megan and go see his buddy boy Nacho that he forgot his polo equipment. I'm not kidding. Cue the gas-guzzling SUV, and the plane had to sit and wait. Now, of course, Harry was the only passenger, but still, it had to sit idling while they were waiting. Finally, these security people show up with Harry's polo gear. They throw them onto a golf cart, take them from the car out to this private jet that's been sitting there waiting for them. They walk them up. You can see there's the polo mallets and the bags and everything that he needed. Yes, he was so excited to get out that he forgot his equipment. So much for showing us that, you know, he's eco-friendly, because the gas-guzzling SUV was used to bring his stuff, and then these guys threw it up on the plane. Yes, there you go. So Harry, once again, spouting about private jets and flying commercial. As a matter of fact, let's just take a tour back down memory lane for that, shall we? How many of you remember when Harry was in Amsterdam for Travelist and somebody actually spoke to him about their use of private jets with Megan and the baby, and the fact that they were really using, you know, the jets like taxi cabs? Do you guys remember when he said this?
I came here by commercial. I spend 99% of my life traveling the world by commercial. Occasionally there needs to be an opportunity based on a unique circumstance to ensure that my family are safe. And it's generally as simple as that.
Now, of course, you heard what he just said. 99% of his flights are commercial, but come to find out that was untrue. It was 60% of the flights were commercial. When he was informed of that, his response was, well, nobody's perfect.
As that. But as I said in my speech, for me, what it is about balance. And if I have to do that, not a decision that I would want to take, but if I have to do that, then I will ensure, as I have done previously, and I will continue to make sure that I do, is to balance out that impact that I have. And I've always offset my CO2. I think part of...
So you know that when he was asked where and how many trees he had planted later on that day, Harry didn't answer. So, you know, you heard him. It's a method of safety for his wife and his child. Unfortunately, his wife and his child were not on that private jet that he took to play polo, just like they weren't on the last private jet when he went to Africa, and they weren't on the private jet for the last polo match. Right. And his hypocrisy is not going unnoticed, let me tell you. People are noticing, like Aaron above. So the decision to take a private jet by himself to the polo game in Denver was to keep his family safe? Exactly. So anyway, Sentable put up a message saying that Harry, and of course the Duke of Sussex, was playing to help raise some money and raise awareness for Sentable, you know, etc., etc. Now, interestingly enough, so he flew out there to play. Interestingly enough, Nacho put up an Instagram post, and I guess it didn't get a lot of feed, so then he put up a notice saying, by the way, guys, I just put up an Instagram post. And of course, the picture is of an earlier game of them hugging, and the first line says, I love playing with you. I'm telling you guys, bromance like out the rear. So anyway, they start lining up for photos. Watch this. Then they stand around commiserating. You know, you can see everybody's there. Megan's not. And of course, Harry has, I've shown you guys before the difference between the fake smile and the real smile. So Megan's not there. So watch Harry.
Yeah, here it is, Chris, doing the rack. Oh, I think he said something about it. How could he not? How could
So they played, and believe it or not, this time around, they actually won. So when you see the picture of them holding up the trophy this time, unlike that last time where it was done for Netflix cameras, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Anyway, guess who else was there? James Holt. Yes, James Holt was there to watch them play. Shocking. And we all know that it wouldn't be an event unless Harry, evoked the memory of his mother, right? Like he does with everything else. Just listen to this.
Week is the 25th anniversary of my mother's death, and she most certainly will never be forgotten. I want it to be a day filled with memories of her incredible work and love for the way that she did it. I want it to be a day to share the spirit of my mum with my family, with my children who I wish could have met her. Every day, I hope to do her.
And a thank you to HRH Princess Sneaky for that information. It also does not look like it was very well attended. Where are the crowds? You know what I'm saying? All right, ladies and gentlemen, now let's go back and look at archetypes again, shall we? Because there's a lot of buzz going on. People are saying it's number one, it's number one. Well, let me tell you, there's lots of discrepancies, like this person, Megan Malarkey, who pointed out that she's 38 in the UK top episodes, but she's under number one for the podcast. That makes absolutely no sense. You guys, these numbers are absolutely inflated, guaranteed. And then you've got Indy, who rightfully pointed out that she's had one podcast which is individually ranked not even in the top 30 in most countries. But if you look at the Spotify series ranking, it lists in the top 3. So how can that be? Absolutely deceptive marketing. Then Pilot Hardy, bless her heart, actually sat and listened to the whole thing and counted how many times Megan said the word I. That would be 200, more than any other word, including and the. And she used me 74 times. It was the 9th most used word after connecting words like of and that. And remember, you guys, they started calling her Megan after she gave that speech in the UK for SmartWorks, where she mentioned, I don't remember the exact number, she mentioned herself like 40 times in a 3-minute speech. Remember that? Same thing. Baroness Bruck pointed out that Archewell was supposed to be a charitable foundation, and some people suspected it would be a cheap facade to carry out the Sussex PR, and that's pretty much what I think is happening. Let me explain. Do you guys remember this young lady, Rebecca, the one I showed you that liked on Twitter all these horrible posts when Philip died, and they were making fun of him as he was dying? Remember her? Yeah. She's doing the open leg stance thing that Megan does, and she took a picture in front of an Archewell sign in Times Square. So billboards are apparently up in New York, LA, and Toronto because God knows the ads that are running and the stuff splattered everywhere isn't enough to make sure everybody knows about this podcast. Believe me, we all know about the podcast. Everybody knows. So these billboards are like these 50-foot billboards are up everywhere. So my first question is, who paid for this? Was it Spotify or was it Archewell? Because just in case you guys are unaware, these billboards cost a fortune, between $10,000 to $22,000 for 2 weeks, just in Times Square alone. Anyhow, the team is in New York, and you have to wonder why they would all be in New York unless they're there for something else. So I'm sure something else is about to pop up. Don't forget, I showed you that woman they were on the Zoom call with who's a New York law professor. So something is happening, but I'm sure we won't be made privy to it until, the very end. In the meantime, in my opinion, the podcast still sucked. It was a me fest. That's what it was. Well, let me just tell you guys that the podcast continues to blow up in Megan's face in more ways than you could possibly realize. But one of the biggest ways is that people in South Africa now don't want anything to do with her. She's pissed off Africa. I mean, Harry's favorite spot. How much you want to bet she never steps foot there again? These tweets are starting to come up from people. In case you don't know, vote sec, I hope I'm saying that right, is basically the gentle way from the South African people of saying piss off. So what that shows is the amount of anger now in South Africa against Meghan. People are telling her never set her dirty feet in Africa again, and they're calling her a racist because of what she said and done against the African people. Yeah. And the conversations are going on. And people are wanting to know why she turned against the South Africans. Why would she say such horrible things? And that's why she's now being called a racist. People just don't understand why she would do that. I don't understand it either, I got to be honest. So I don't know how all this is going to end, but personally, I don't think it's going to end well. Now, don't assume that one guy is the only one. I mean, this person wrote that she felt sorry for Meghan when royalty treated her bad. She's changed her mind. Miss B pointed out that they're poor in South Africa and we don't have smoke detectors. And then she went on to say she's our sister. They don't want her back in South Africa. They're calling her a racist, a bully, and a selfish, ungrateful human being and a liar. Well, my goodness, we all knew this already. I mean, we knew it. I can't believe everybody else is just figuring this out. That's like, it's shocking. And as usual, here comes the Sussex squad trying to clean up her mess. The fans are trying to say that the British media took her words out of context when everybody, not just the South Africans, everybody clearly heard her say it herself on her podcast. She said they didn't have smoke detectors. She called the house that they stayed in, the mansion, a housing unit. How in the heck do you think that you can just, somehow speak that away? Give me a break. And now that term that they're using, which I cannot pronounce, is spreading and trending in South Africa. Yeah, I can't wait till Harry tries to go back for one of his vacations and he has to deal with these same people. He might get a real eye-opener. So you guys know how I would normally end this video, and I would tell you to leave your comments, which I am, and I would tell you to double check the subscribe button, which I am, and I would tell you that you could email me and you could follow me on Rumble, Twitter, Getter, but we're going to end this just a smidge differently. So we're going to end this video in tribute to Ashli by saying her words, lots of love and many blessings to you all. Have a great day.